Like, I saw some Mountain Lightning earlier.
Where did you hide the Mountain Dew? Where did you hide it? We're getting ready to go!
Boogie used to actually be kind of funny, but now he's just hella cringe. Shout out to tomdark for the original video. Hope you guys enjoy.
Like, I was doing a little bit of research last night, and I saw a video that you made claiming that I have like fake Twitter accounts or alt Twitter accounts or something.
You definitely do. You do. For
no,
sure.
I don't.
Yeah,
I genuinely
you do.
don't.
Okay, this is actually so based because like I feel like so many people just would let Boogie get away with it, but actually Tom, yeah, actually calls him out on it. And I gotta give the boy some credit.
Yeah, you do.
No,
yes,
I genuinely don't.
Yes, you do.
I mean, like, I won't disagree that those Twitter accounts are fake. But it's not me running them. I'm not.
Boogie, who else would be running those accounts, man?
Yeah, and Tom's exactly right here. I don't know if you guys know what he's talking about, but basically Boogie had a bunch of like fake Twitter accounts that people suspect is him because they were like defending him, even though he's like most irrelevant guy now. Like, really look at his channel. Like, I mean, I guess he still has some popular videos, but averaging like 20k views, like obviously it's a lot more than me, but he's not gonna have a bunch of diehard defenders. Like, best video getting like 56. Like, even putting like famous people in the thumbnail, you're only getting 35k, you know. You're not gonna have a lot of people going out of their way to defend you.
Dude, I have a Kiwi farm of like 500,000 posts. One of those guys?
Dude, this is also another thing. Like, I feel like Kiwi Farms is so demonized, but like realistically, if it was them, or like people just blame them for everything, realistically, if it was Kiwi Farms, it would be so much worse, and we'd probably have an admission by someone on the forum. Like, they aren't really that shy about hiding what they do, you know?
You lied about being swatted.
Well, so no. Okay.
Yes,
well,
you did. You did lie about being swatted.
I got, to me, weaponizing welfare checks is the same as swatting. So when somebody is purposely
That's not what I'm talking
welfare...
about. You know what I'm talking about. Don't play dumb. There was a situation where you were claiming that Sam and Tolkien was swatting you.
No, I just attributed it to the wrong people, but I did. Oh, yeah, where I changed the dates around.
All right, so Tom is like actually doing such a good job here of actually calling him out. Like, it's so important to do this with people like this that will just compulsively lie about literally everything and constantly change their story of what's going on. And Boogie has a history of this where he just constantly will lie about everything that he's ever done, and then he'll also, on top of that, he'll feign ignorance and incompetence so no one can like hold him accountable, and then he'll like plea to his disability or his neurodivergency and then be like, you can't hold me accountable for this. And I'm sure we'll see it a ton throughout the interview, but it's actually kind of insane because with these people you need to call them out consistently, but Boogie's always just like a pile of self-pity. It's actually pretty funny, but
no, I know, because I'm terrible. My brain doesn't work good. Do you understand that? Do you understand what it's like?
Yeah, I do understand that. I do understand. Yes.
And so, like, I often speak with
bro, but he's just getting roasted right to his dome. Like, god damn, are you gonna take that disrespect from the boy? Come on, man.
I'm sorry, I'm so anxious. I forget how to fucking hit record. Okay, here it is. All right,
you're gonna be anxious. I'm not gonna like lie. I'm not gonna bring Frank Hassel in here.
Okay, good. All right.
I think the only way he would come in anyway is if you let him. So he's not here.
Oh, good. Yeah, I mean, somebody told me, I'm not gonna rat out somebody who told me, but somebody told me not to trust you and that like you would arrange some stunts for this and like just clown on me. You're not interested in the actual interview or anything like that. You were just using this excuse to embarrass me or something. I told him that I thought you were wrong, and I'm glad.
This is actually just utter, just like cap. Like, this is not true. No one told Boogie. I'd bet my life on it. He's just trying to do this. I've seen him do this so many times in the past like couple of years where he'll feign like this like benevolence of like, oh well, someone told me you're gonna be bad, but I didn't think that. I didn't think you're bad. I think you're the greatest person of all time. And he's like trying to do that here. Obviously he's not gonna name the person. He's not saying exactly what they thought. He's just trying to get in Tom's good grace by being sweet. I mean, I'm 100% sure Tom will see through this, but
I was trying to count it up last night. I think you've made over a dozen videos about me.
Another thing he's trying to do, he's trying to like paint Tom as being obsessed with him by like saying over 12 videos, which might be true, but like considering Tom, I think posts a video on this channel every day, and then he does the deep dive videos on Turkey Tom, the other channel, every week or every couple weeks. Like, he's not really making that many videos about him, especially compared to some of the other content creators out there that do make a bunch of videos on Boogie. But also Tom does mostly just cover lolcow stuff, so like Boogie, you're like kind of one of the highest like clouded lolcows of our time, although now you don't really have much clout, sadly, as we saw with your 18k views.
We are walking into Wild World Animal Adventures.
Bro, what is this film? Why is he like holding it like this? Have your, I don't know, you're like your 12-year-old girlfriend.
Megan Jacob came back.
His girlfriend is younger than me. He's like 49. Isn't that insane?
Promise you, Tom, right here on my dog's life, I will give you all the truth I have and more. I will be
Bro, on your dog's life, what is this? Why is he like, oh my god, it's actually so bad. What is he talking about?
Is genuine with you in ways that I've never been genuine before, because I'm kind of tired. I'm really, yeah, like sometimes I don't know.
Even Tom just doesn't believe him. Or like the alternative is that Boogie's just like, he realizes that Tom's gonna call him out on a bunch of stuff. When you're getting called out like this, the only way is like admit it and be like, and like disassociate from your past self and then blame it on yourself in the past. I can already tell you that I guarantee Boogie is gonna be like shitting on himself in the past so much throughout this entire video.
15? Is that accurate?
I think I was 14. Yeah, I was pretty young.
And you're what, 21 now?
Just about, yeah.
So you're still a baby.
Bro, you have a 29-year age gap with your girlfriend. That's insane.
It's funny because I largely agreed with your opinion on the IDub situation, but that's a whole.
Okay, I can't point it out every single time he does this, but Boogie, you just see him constantly trying to get into his good graces, trying to be like, I'm on your side. I agree with you. You're so right here. When obviously he doesn't. Like, they just got on a spat on Twitter about it. They just were fighting about it. Like, it's actually kind of insane that he's trying to do this and thinking that Tom won't call him out. He's just pretending like he's the greatest guy ever, I guess. I don't know where he got that idea, but
well, just this, it seemed like in this particular case, you're afraid to say, I think Boogie's lying, but it seems to be
I know you lied, not about that. I don't know you lied about that. I'd say you probably told the truth about that. But once again, in the video itself, I say I don't think he lied. You responded on Twitter publicly to a clip of me saying I don't think he lied. And now,
well, you know, I literally had somebody come out and like, this is how that went down on Friday. Somebody, the initial tweet that I saw was Turkey Tom came out and said in the video that you lied. So I was responding to them without watching the video for myself, and that's my mistake. I'm a very reactionary person.
Why would you do that?
Because I'm an idiot. I think you should know that by now. If you're as steeped in lore as you are.
See, this is just appealing to his incompetence. Like, I'm stupid. How would I know? Boogie's not that stupid. I mean, he even used to be looked at as like a smart person. And I'm sure he'll have like a bunch more excuses, but just like appealing to being stupid is so frustrating because everyone knows that he's not like mentally disabled. Like I think he claims some type of like neurodivergency and stuff, which might be true, but he's not like disabled and mentally handicapped. Like, he's a normal person that just might have some type of mental health issues or whatever, but not to do with his intelligence. So when he like tries to claim this, it's almost like he's trying to appeal to his incompetence and then also trying to appeal like modest. He thinks it's likable, but really, because we all can just see right through it, it's just nothing. There's nothing. There's like, he doesn't get anything from it. It just becomes more frustrating. It would be better if he could just be honest, address his like issues, apologize for them, and then most importantly, just show some type of change or attempt to change, because he refuses to do that. And that's what everyone's problem with him has been for the past 7 years since he like fell out of the limelight, you know?
I don't know if people really know what it's like to be as mentally ill. Do you struggle with anything that you're willing to share today? Obviously, some people want to keep this kind of private stuff private. Have you ever dealt with delusion? Have you ever dealt with that kind of thing? So I have the majority of my life, and I think you've seen quite a bit of that on YouTube. And sure, like certainly delusions of grandeur when I was at the top of my YouTube channel, but more talking about delusions of catastrophizing and making things out to be worse than they are in my own brain and genuinely believing it. Like, I convinced myself on Friday and was reacting to the reality that you had lied in that video, and all it took was one single tweet. So eventually,
now he's just trying to appeal to like Tom not being an expert, Tom being uneducated.
So this is one of my biggest mistakes. Like, for example, when we talked about molestation, when I first talked about molestation, I referred to the molestation that I received as, do you remember that? And I referred to it as that because I considered it to be statutory. But somebody quickly educated me that the proper term for what happened to me is not because I wasn't forcibly penetrated. What happened to me was molestation. And so I had to change my story to say it was molestation, right? And this is one of those cases where I have now learned to refer to it as weaponized welfare checks because that's what it is specifically.
Okay, here we go. Feigning ignorance. Insane that he's doing this, because obviously what he's trying to say, if like you read between the lines, what he's saying is, well, I wanted the pity from calling it swatting because that's what everyone really cares about, and there's a lot of like cultural implications around swatting and like, oh, it's so bad. Like, I don't know if you guys know, like Keffels, she raised like $100,000 from a swatting. Like, so obviously swatting carries something with it. If you say weaponized welfare checks, nobody cares, and Boogie knew that at the time. I would almost bet my life on it. Like, Obviously he knew it. It takes a Google search. Like if you're gonna post something, probably can Google the terminology, you know? And it's also not like anytime anyone ever talks about swatting, they talk about how much it affected them, how damaging it was to their mental health. Like, oh my God, I have PTSD, I'm going to therapy. And like, no disrespect to the people that do that. Like I know there are a bunch of people that do actually get PTSD from swattings, and I can imagine getting an AR-15 shoved in your face when you wake up is probably not very comforting. But now that Boogie gets called out on that, because he wasn't swatted, he got a welfare check called on him, but he wanted that sympathy. So then when people called him out on that, then he feigns ignorance to pretend like, oh my God, if I knew, I never would have called it, I never would have referred to it as swatting. But he would have, because the point was he wanted the sympathy. He doesn't care about being honest.
Didn't lie about the weaponized welfare check. They happened.
You lied about having a secret deal with the police department during which they would not keep records.
Yeah, that was a very stupid thing.
But the thing.
Even Boogie's like, yeah, that was dumb. That was really dumb. But it doesn't change the fact that he did it or why he did it. And that's what people are criticizing him for. Like, people aren't criticizing him for being stupid. They're criticizing him because his reasoning for doing the dumb thing is malicious, is to get sympathy from people. That's what people are criticizing him for. But he'll have you believe that people are criticizing him because he's stupid, because he made a mistake, whatever, you know.
I genuinely thought that was going to play out in my favor. I thought that they would, and they did. They proved that I'd been swatted several times, weaponized welfare checked several times that year. They proved it and said, look, he's wrong about the dates. He changed the dates. He lied. He lied. Nobody gave a shit. Nobody gave a shit that somebody was weaponizing welfare checks, wasting the time about the police and the rescue squads and the fire department. Because they all
appeal to the greater good. Boogie does not care at all about using the police's time, using the fire department's time, wasting their money. He doesn't care. What he's tried to do is appeal and make himself look better and the other people look worse by like saying, oh, they're calling the police, which is wasting the police's time. Like, Boogie lives in a small town in Arkansas. Who cares? They were probably eating donuts or driving around. Like, I don't know. But like getting a call, or I think it was like 2 or 4 calls in a year, like realistically, it's not that big of a deal. But he's trying to pretend like it's the worst thing that could have ever happened to try to like get people over on his side.
And then I went to VidCon, but here's the thing, Tom, I didn't really want to die. I just wanted to not be in constant mental and physical pain all the time. And I wanted to not be suffering the way I was suffering. So I went to VidCon.
Okay, I wasn't going to say, because he didn't really bring up the suicide thing, Tom did, so I wasn't going to say he's trying to get sympathy. But here he is by talking about like he doesn't want to be suffering, how he is suffering, like how his mental anguish is just too great that he wanted to get out of it. This is appeal to sympathy. We'll give him a 0.5 for this. Like, that's only half of one. I won't give him a full one.
Okay, so
it was a horrible.
I sympathize with you. The Sam and Tolkien thread was not amazing.
Yeah.
The other thing is that like every YouTuber deals with stuff like that.
I'm just not equipped for it. I'm glad that you're equipped for that. I've never been equipped for that kind of hate. I don't know how to deal with it. And I would say that I got it at a considerably higher level than most. I think there are.
Okay, see, this is another thing where it's like, I think even I get hated by comments. I have like 2,000 subs. Like, I'm not a big channel at all, but even I get hate comments all the time on like shorts and stuff where people tell me I'm like terrible, I'm a loser, whatever, make fun of my voice. It doesn't matter. Like, you just have to tune it out. They don't actually affect you if you're not like a child, a narcissist, like. And I'm sure now he's gonna fade, like, appeal to stupidity, appeal to whatever. I need to add that too. Appeal to stupidity. I think we're at 2 already, but we'll wait.
But why do you think you got it at a higher level?
Because my subreddit had the largest numbers for the most part. Oh, you mean like at random? I think part of it is my weight. I think I am extremely fat, and a lot of people have issues with that. I think a lot of it is.
Okay, you know what? I'm just trying to think of what we call this. Refusing to accept responsibility. Okay, I'm not gonna lie. People will make fun of you for being fat, but that's not why they're like relentlessly going after him forever. It's because of his conduct. That's what people really care about. There was a time when Boogie, or really Francis, was like one of the biggest names on YouTube and very beloved at even to some point. Like up to like 2017, he was a beloved content creator that like pretty much no one had anything bad to say about. And it's not like he got fatter, he got skinnier actually. And there are creators that are heavy that people don't hate. that people don't do the same thing to, but he's trying to shift it onto the fat shaming so he doesn't have to accept the responsibility. Hopefully Tom will call him out on this. We'll see though.
Because I'm such an incredible lolcow, I respond to everybody. I respond to everything. I find it extremely difficult to not.
Okay, that's a little bit more honest that he is an incredible lolcow, but like the reason you're an incredible lolcow is because of how all the dumb things you do and how you make everything up, not because you respond to people that call you out. That's different. I mean, that's part of it, but
I mean, hell, I'm doing this interview with you, and this is probably career side, right? But I'm going to do it anyway because I hope it helps and entertains and educates people. And also, even though I know it's a bad idea, I'm incapable of stuff.
Definitely entertaining. I don't know why he did this. He's right, it's stupid, but it's not career suicide because your career has been dead for 6 years probably.
Here's how I justify it in my mind. Hopefully it can give you an idea of my delusions. Number one, in my mind, I like Turkey Tom. I don't like everything you've done. I don't like everything you said. Same thing I said about iDubbbz.
We have to add this. We have to add it. Appeal to moderator. We're just appealing to Tom to try to make him like him, to try to make him go easier on it, but Tom isn't doing that, luckily.
You made a joke.
Yeah.
This context doesn't change anything. I'm not saying you're racist. I'm saying you made a joke. I'm saying it's ridiculous for you to call me racist. When I have people from other Boogie accounts combing through your old internet to find you saying even
are
more
you
racist stuff
racist?
about
That's
black
out of
girls.
curiosity. Are you racist?
Am I racist?
Yeah. Like, do you dislike people of color?
No.
Do you?
Look at how long it took Tom, why do you take so long to respond? What? Brother, my brother in Christ, come on, man. He can't be doing that. You can't be taking that long with that little smirk.
I still watch Louis C.K., Dave Chappelle to this day. I watch you. I watched old school iDubbbz.
Okay, so you understand people like to make jokes.
Yeah, of course.
So why the fuck are you mad at me for shit I said in private on Discord, Boogie?
I just thought you called me racist in that video, so calling you racist.
I didn't call you racist in the video.
Did you not bring up like old racist clips in that video or something like that?
No.
Oh, well, okay. Well, that's what I thought you did. See, again, I'm functioning on my limited capacity of brain power.
Don't you think you should like get off the internet then?
Probably not. It's my only income. I'm a disabled man. I don't really know what else I could possibly do to earn a living. So this is the only thing I feel like I can.
You could like get like an IT job or something, like normal.
I'm not qualified for it, and I definitely don't have the mental health to hold down a job. I've tried for sure. I barely function as a YouTuber, and this is one of the easiest jobs I think there is to have.
So can you imagine, like, improve your life in some way? Like, you're totally defeatist about this. You could, like, I don't know, go to the gym.
Yeah, this is another stupid thing that Boogie says, that he can't hold down a job. Like, it's impossible for him to. But morbidly obese people hold down jobs. It's not impossible. There are jobs like that. There are jobs where you sit at a desk most of the day doing low stress work. You can go be a secretary, all this stuff. I mean, even if you have panic attacks, anxiety attacks, whatever, there's medication out there. There's things that can help you. These people, if you actually have the mentality to work and to persevere, then you're gonna do it. And it happens all the time. And Boogie is not someone that's gone through like unparalleled problems in his life. Like, he's gone through a lot more than I have, I'll give him that, but he isn't like a disabled, wounded war veteran. Like, most of his problems come from, most likely, I'm not going to call him a liar, so problems in his childhood with his mental health and then his weight. But people persevere through that all the time. There are jobs you can find, but he's trying to, you know what, feel sympathy again. He can't. He's trying to be like, oh, I can't work anything. I'm a disabled guy. I'm fat. I'm heavy. It's all like a ruse to try to make him look as good as possible and to make Tom look as bad as possible, where he's attacking the moderator, which is so weird. I don't know if Tom's the moderator. I guess he's the interviewer, but let's attack the moderator too. It's weird to try to attack and appeal to the moderator. There's actually...
Oh, I go to the gym. I just joined a new gym this last week.
No,
the problem is, I don't know if you know, have you ever been morbidly obese, Tom? I don't know. I imagine you have not had any weight issues.
No.
Okay.
Attacking the moderator's credibility. You can't criticize me because you haven't been more morbidly obese.
I think someone with my experiences, with my body, still being alive at 48, that alone is a triumph. So many people that I loved and respected that have been my size have already died by the time they're this age. John Candy, Ralphie May, so many incredibly much more intelligent and talented people than I ever was, right? I've outlived them all, and that sucks.
Doesn't that give you the inspiration, though? Like, you could change your lifestyle, change your diet.
But I have. Like, I've lost 200 pounds in the last 5 years and kept it off, and I'm really proud.
We're gonna put this in refusing to accept responsibility. You're just delusional, and I'm sure he's gonna call himself delusional. Maybe he already has. I don't even know. He's delusional. He's too self-aware about it, about his mental health issues, for them to be the reason why he's doing this. Like, just because you have a personality problem, just because you're a compulsive liar, or just because you're like a bad person, you can't blame that on mental illness. You have to accept responsibility for it, but he won't.
And so I think there's two different ways to look at it. I can look at my life, as a lot of people think I do. Oh, poor pity me. I'm just going to sit on my ass, not try to do anything and not try to accomplish it. I can do what I do every day, which is try to control what I eat, try to control this brain, try to control control this body, see my doctor, hit the gym.
Bro, what he doesn't realize is that I can try to be the best tennis player in the world every day, but if I don't actually hold myself accountable to that, if what I'm really doing is just like picking up a tennis racket or a tennis ball every day and throwing it at a wall once or twice before giving up, I'm never gonna be the best tennis player in the world. And that's basically what he's doing. He's saying, oh, I'm trying to control my diet. Meanwhile, he's drinking a Mountain Dew in this interview. You don't get any credit for just trying something that you completely fail at.
Well, let's talk about YouTube then. Have you thought about changing your content? Because clearly whatever you're doing right now is not really getting the numbers, right?
Well, so I did a shift after, I like vlogging, and I haven't been doing much of it. So my friend Michael, kid behind the camera, took me under his wing, and we made some vlogs, and they did pretty well. And so I'm trying to learn to do he does without all the clickbaiting and all of that stuff. And I also really like travel content.
Okay, this might be actual stupidity from him, because like, you have no content, you can't then be like, or you have no viewers, you can't then choose to be honorable about it and like not do clickbait. Like, I realize clickbait's a big problem, but as long as you're like, you just want it to be an easy clickable title that gets people's attention. It doesn't need to be a lie.
But here's the thing, I will never be able to compete with the likes of you. The amount of editing, I don't have the skill or the talent, nor the patience nor the time.
What I have isn't skill.
Pretending like he's incompetent, but he's not. Like what Tom does is he just takes a lot of time. And Boogie, if you can't do anything else, content is dying. I mean, it might not be a good idea for you to go into these types of videos because you might not be set up to it, but making these excuses about not being able to is a joke because it's not like Tom is singing. It's not. He's making documentaries. It's just so frustrating. It's so frustrating. Like, I actually don't get it. I don't get it. I don't.
How many hours do you think that took you? And I presume you have an editor. So you and your editor, editing, filming, scripting, writing, research. How many hours do you think that took you, that one video?
Combined, I don't know, a lot, like 50 maybe.
50 hours? That's insane. I don't have the patience. My current therapist thinks I'm dealing with.
Okay, you know what? Let's take a look. Let's see if you get to choose whether or not you have patience. This is the only thing you can do. 2.1 million views. All right, I'm not sure if he must have privated or deleted a ton of videos right here, and then he might have published a ton, or he got a ton of viewers, because I know like the documentary that was all over everywhere came out around here, so that was probably it. Like, this is what he's been getting. He averages about 1 million views a month for the past 3 years, which actually, I mean, it's not a lot, but it's not terrible. But like, you could have taken 2 months to do this, which would be 8 weeks. He said 50 hours, like 7 hours a week over the span of 2 months to make this video, an hour-long video. You've gotten the same amount of views.
I have difficulty setting and doing anything for an hour. I have difficulty setting for an hour because of my back pain, much less setting in a chair slumped over editing.
Thinking about this.
So I know, why does he say setting? Is that Arkansas's accent, like setting instead of sitting? What? I've never heard that before.
So when you wake up in the morning, what's the first thing you do?
Probably piss.
And then?
Shower.
Well, I piss and shower. And then I spend the first 2 or 3 hours of my day trying to not hate being alive, trying to get myself out of physical pain, trying to get myself out of mental pain so that I can put on a smile for my friends, for my audience, for the people that care, for the people at the gas station. All
right, I'm sorry, but get over yourself. Watch a David Goggins video. Like, this is like crazy self-pity. It's actually crazy. It's like basically what he's doing is self-pity every single day. I understand he's probably in pain. He probably sucks to be 500 pounds. Probably does. Being 49, 400 pounds probably really sucks. But just having all the self-pity and being like, I need to spend 3 hours a day making myself happy, which I don't know. Maybe I don't know what he's talking about. That's a euphemism. I'm not sure. Don't want to think about it. But like, you just got to get over yourself.
I got up today at 10 a.m. Do you know what I've done today? I've done nothing but prepare for this interview so that I would not lose my emotions. I wouldn't cry in front of you. I wouldn't lose my temper in front of you. I have literally played a handful of video games. I talked to my girlfriend. I played with my dogs. I did.
Oh, okay. What he's saying, he's like, oh, I've played a ton of video games. I played with my dog, talked to my girlfriend. That's what he really did. He wasn't preparing for this video. He's just doing what he wanted to. And now he's trying to frame it like he was doing this as like preparation that he needs to, or else he's going to break down on call. Like, what are you even talking about? What are you talking about?
One of the things I wanted to bring up, you are convinced, and you made a video, and we talked about this prior, that I have alt accounts on Twitter, and I pretend to like my own tweets, or pretend to be a girl that likes me, or something like that. I skimmed through the video, so I don't know.
I don't know if you do right now, but you did.
No, I never did. And it's so interesting because they were doing it so badly. Why would I continue to do it the first time I got called out if I was doing it? And why would I do it so badly? Why would I do it at all?
You do almost everything badly. Why would you continue to do anything? You're totally
Bro. Yo, side counter. Tom roasting the living. Jesus, you do everything badly.
If someone calls you out for something, you almost are tempted to just do it forever.
Well, it depends. Give me an example of something you think that's
that.
Well, I didn't.
Or like with
So
the SWAT, or
work.
okay, you can
made
say you didn't. Or like,
yeah.
we'll just go back to the swatting thing. That's a super easy thing. Instead of just like copying to it right away and being like, actually, I was talking about these dates. Instead, you made up a lie about having a secret deal with a police station wherein they would hide evidence that there were people coming to your house. Okay, but that's not delusion. You lied about that.
I convinced myself that lying about that would give me the best possible result.
Okay, so that's an example of during which you had an easy out and instead you took the wrong path, clearly. And that's the same thing with the alt accounts. Why would you do it so poorly? Well, you like to do things poorly. Why would you keep doing it after you got called out? Because you love to do everything after you get called out. When you get called out for fence sitting, you immediately start arguing about how you're not a fence sitter, and then you are a fence sitter, and then you're not one.
Well, so I do think this is a perfect example of what I was talking about earlier. I'm very bad at communicating. I don't know if it's the way my brain is wired. I don't know if it's the autism. I have a very difficult time understanding how other people are going.
Okay, I don't want to be like fucked up, but he's not a bad communicator, and like I don't want to question his diagnosis or whatever, but like I don't think he has autism. Like, he's made a career for the past 20 years of entertaining people online, and he was known for like 6 of those years for having like really good moderate like centrist opinions about stuff, where he'd like play both sides and people respected what he would say about any given issue and they'd care about it. Now he's trying to appeal to being delusional and being stupid and being like, he completely spits in the face of his entire personality that he's built up over the past 20 years.
And so one of the biggest issues
is also with the hacking thing. You claim that your Twitter account was hacked, and it did. That actually happened. I immediately went to a second account and was tweeting from it the whole time. Why would I go to a second account and tweet from it the whole time? To make it look real, obviously. I love the credit that you're giving me here, and that's amazing that you think I'm that level of mastermind. But I'm just fucking.
I think Tom's about to say it. That's not a mastermind. You're not being smart. You're doing the simplest thing. Oh, I want to be able to pretend like I'm hacked. So what would I be doing if I was hacked? Oh, I'd probably be tweeting off my second account. Like this is not like you're like playing 4-dimensional chess. You're like following the line of like, that's like basically the only way you can pretend that you're hacked. If not, then it's just like tweeting out at the end. It's like the bare minimum to pretend like you're hacked. The bare minimum.
Well, no, I stood by them the whole time, and you'll never have evidence because, I mean, you might find evidence that you can mislead others with to think that you're right.
I mean,
hedging. Well, you can't find evidence, and then he like thinks to himself, oh wait, maybe there actually is evidence. Maybe I shouldn't say that he can't. Let's just try to save this for just when I get caught out. Well, even if you can find evidence, it's only evidence that you can use to convince people, but it's not real evidence, it's fake evidence, but you're gonna be able to convince people with that evidence. No, it's the truth. Yeah, like even just admitting this, I would say, is like, it's basically evidence. Like, it's actually, oh my God, I don't know how I'm getting so frustrated.
I think they want me to look incompetent.
Way more from leaking your messages.
There was nothing to leak.
There definitely, everyone's.
No, there really isn't. Like, I'll give you access to my Twitter account. There's nothing to leak. There's nothing interesting there. There's nothing interesting there. If they got into my Twitter.
This is just not true. Boogie ran like a porn forum like 20 years ago. There's definitely embarrassing messages. Maybe not on his Discord or on his Twitter. I'll grant you that. Probably on Discord or something. There's definitely really, really embarrassing messages somewhere. And if he's offering Tom to get the Twitter, honestly, I think he probably wouldn't if Tom was like, yeah, I'll take the Twitter. But you would probably be like, go through and delete all of his messages or something before letting that happen, or back out of it completely. But even if he didn't, he just gave it to him right away. It's just because it's somewhere else. So Boogie feels confident about this one specific thing, but he's trying to make it seem like he's just a good guy, which is obviously not true. It's obvious he obviously has stuff to hide. He's been lying about things for years. Like, he's not the saint he's pretending to be. I
literally had to have a brand sponsor reach out to another creator who knew somebody at Twitter to get the account back because they changed the recovery information immediately. So yeah, they had a week and a half to go through.
I'd be curious to see if he has any proof of this, like any proof of the chain of command, like giving him this recovery. Because like, I mean, it's a little bit more credit, and maybe then we can start to say he's becoming a mastermind of this. But also, I think it's kind of just like, it's still just like the next rung. Like, oh, let's actually pretend like I lost. But then presumably Twitter could just be like, no, it's connected from the same place the entire time.
I'm a really boring person for the most part. But in the things that I'm not boring in, like for example, I have somebody I've been dating for the last 7 months. I don't leave a paper trail.
Somebody that you've been dating for the last 7 months, a year and 2 months ago. So she, at the time when they started dating, at the oldest was 18 and he's like 47. Oh my God, bro. She's probably still in high school. Ew. That's disgusting. That's just, ugh.
I don't follow her on any social media accounts. I don't take photos with her. I don't even really go anywhere in public.
This is before he was public about being with her, because jeez, bro, you're 29 years older than her. Like, what?
Yeah, you wouldn't say it. But that
obviously. Well, so I read 4chan. I very rarely ever posted 4chan on 4chan. But when I did post on 4chan, I'll tell you one of the most interesting lessons I've learned in life. So like I said, I grew up on Sam Kinison, Dave Chappelle, even Lenny Bruce. I've listened to some Lenny Bruce, and that guy was fucking vile for a purpose, but still. I watched old iDubbbz. I watched old you. I've seen, some of the messed up stuff that creators have said, right? And I
watched old you. I mean, old iDubbbz, yeah. Okay, he was messed up. Pretty offensive. Old Turkey Tom. Oldest.
So, today we're going to talk
about... Is this really what you were watching?
Because nobody else has ever made a video about fan bases. If you on visiting the thread, that it was a cool way.
This is what you're watching and saying this is offensive? Yeah, you're talking out your ass.
Like,
oh yeah, no, I grew up saying the F word all the time.
No, you said it on 4chan that you were like a big time poster. I thought.
No, much more of a reader.
I might have on that podcast.
I don't think I would, because it wouldn't be true. But then, like, a lot of times I have been embellisher.
Yeah, even he admits that he's a pathological liar, pathological embellisher, as he's saying right now. But I mean, that might be true.
Story. For example, like another thing I just straight up lied about was on the PKA podcast, and I was talking about defending my girlfriend. And what it really came down to is just like a nerd at the magic shop saying some shit to my wife, right? And me telling him to leave him alone. But I embellished the story to where it's like I got up in his face and told him to go fuck himself, and he knew when he took one look at me. I've embellished stories like that for sure. And it's one of my biggest mistakes is that I never really thought about the consequences of somebody being like, well, I bet you were actually just sitting in your chair.
Okay, this is something that he just doesn't understand, or maybe he does and he's pretending not to. The embellishment is not the problem. Like, everyone embellishes stories when they tell them. But you're not just embellishing, you're just completely lying. Embellishment is like, oh, I punched him with one punch and he was on the ground, he was knocked out, and like, that's embellishment. But only if what really happened is you punched him 5 times and he was knocked out on the ground, or you knocked him out. Like, that's embellishment. And even then, that's like insane embellishment. What you're doing is on a whole nother level. What you're doing is being like, what really happens is you said, yo, please stop, and then you tell a story of getting into a fight and basically like KOing this guy off the top ropes. That's what people have a problem with. It's insane. It's called embellishment. Only embellishment is just disingenuous.
Have I said things like I still use the word now because I am neurodivergent. Did I
like he's claiming the slur like it's the N-word and he's black. It's based. Based boogie moment. We'll give him one.
Say FAGGOT back in the day. I absolutely did. We'd say it about everything on the football team, for example, or in band. This was an FAG and you're an FAG and we're both FAGs. You would say that about everybody, but the gay kid, if you say that to the gay kid, we'll fucking curb stomp you.
Okay, bro, he's lying. Where he was raised in Arkansas in like the early the 90s. He's like 50, or the 80s and 90s. There's no way he was like, they were saying it to the gay kid probably mostly or only.
Actually says that to the gay kid, that's a fucking slur when you use it that way, right?
Yeah, I don't like how disingenuous he's being here. We might have to take away his base boogie moment, because this is obviously a lie. This is like, I don't even know if I don't think I'd consider this embellishment. This is just a lie. This is just, my bad, boys, audio cut out. But what he's doing here is he's just acting as though he had the modern understanding of like slurs and racism and bigotry, like a 2024 understanding in the 90s, which he just didn't. He's not seeing the future. Like, I don't know. This is like so obvious. Like, I don't know why he thought he'd be able to get away with a lie like this. It's actually crazy.
I think you deleted the tweet now, but you tweeted, you were like, here's Turkey Tom, by the way, with like a
because I thought you were calling me out on being racist, so I was like, I'm gonna call him out on the same
This
thing.
is obviously a lie. What he did is he just looked up Turkey Tom bad. I guarantee you.
Delusion. I literally went back into my old habits on Friday and built all of this up in my head.
I feel like that doesn't even make sense with the tweets themselves, because you were saying in the tweets, you were like, well, I promise you, we are not okay with what Tom said. Many creators would be ashamed. Is like something to that effect.
I to be honest with you, and this is my opinion, I try not to say things like that anymore, and I make a pretty strong effort to not say things like this anymore. But I will admit, from time to
bro, that was literally last week. What do you mean? You can't, bro? He's disassociating with himself from like 5 minutes ago at this point. And I'm not saying it's like dissociative, like personality disorder or whatever, which I think is a thing. I don't know. I'm no expert. But like, he's dissociating with himself as in like, just distancing himself from any responsibility to refusing to accept responsibility. There we go. I'm like playing bingo. I should have had all these on bingo.
We need a new Hitler for healthcare, a new Hitler for education, a new Hitler for climate control. And if he has a few questions, answers to the Jewish problem, maybe we should hear him out, right? And that's horribly awful, horrible, offensive joke.
Shocked
And the entire
Tom
thing is
didn't
BJ
laugh
Novak
there.
is Jewish, so you know he doesn't mean it.
I'm
The reason he
so
doesn't tell that joke
shocked.
anymore is because people in the audience might agree with him these days. That's why I think you don't tell those jokes anymore. Certainly why I don't tell
Bro,
those.
is Boogie stupid that, if anything, like, racism has gotten better in the past 10 years? Like, I couldn't find stats. I don't know. Maybe it's gotten worse, but I think, like, overall it's much less acceptable to be racist now. Like, in 2010, you have JonTron literally, like, attempting to propagate for, like, a fully white ethno state in the US, and he was, like, mainstream. I guess that's kind of when he got, that wasn't even 2010, that was like 2018. That's kind of when he got, like, canceled. But you know what I mean, you get it.
I'm an old man. I know you're only 20, but I can assure you that there's a period of time where the vast majority of us knew that a comedian was just telling jokes.
Okay, so breaking it down once again, you're only 20 when really he's 21. Your girlfriend's younger than him, by the way, so maybe don't go for age attacks, buddy. Maybe don't. Maybe that's a little hypocritical on your part, maybe a little stupid.
But it's why it's dangerous for them to make those types of jokes.
It's
why it's dangerous for you to make
Neo-Nazis have
those
always
jokes.
existed, though.
Yeah, but they're really on the rise right now. They didn't exist in this exact same way back in 2000.
Are they really?
It seems like it based on my personal experiences, but I can't say for sure.
What Boogie is missing here is that people didn't stop making those jokes because they were afraid that there were real racists that were actually going to laugh along with them. That's not why people stopped making those jokes. People stopped making those jokes because they were afraid of people canceling them for doing it. They would still do those jokes regardless of the rise of neo-Nazism or whatever, if they weren't getting canceled for it. That's why they're no longer doing the jokes.
And I went to a convention circa 2015, 2016, and I was meeting people that liked the character not because he was the asshole, but because they represented them. They liked him because he was an asshole. They weren't there to make fun of the asshole. They liked that I was being an asshole. They thought.
Cue the Sneeko clip.
What did you think? Fuck the woman! Fuck the woman! What?
No, wait.
Sneeko.
We love women. We love women. We love women.
But not like transgenders.
Yes, sir. We love everybody. No.
All gays should die.
Yeah, merch. Preach. What have I done?
there was a girl by the name of Lucy Fox, and she said that was emotionally abusive to her and stuff like that.
She said that. I didn't say that you were.
Okay, cool. So let's talk about that for a second. So I think one of the reasons it was so easy for people to believe that, and I've seen this comment, people saying, I've seen videos of you abusing your wife, because they confused me for the character that I played. They think that the footage of me throwing Pokemon dolls at my wife playing the sister character was me actually abusing her.
I mean,
so I think that's
I'm
one of the
sure
reasons people.
A small portion of the audience think that, but that's ultimately like those people are forgotten.
Yeah, I mean, it comes up every once in a while still in my comment section, and I don't know if they're trolling
it's like
or not.
A random comment. Like I get random comments all the time saying that I'm people's long.
Boogie is just the most fragile man I've ever, not even man, fragile person I've ever even heard of. For one occasional comment out of probably hundreds or thousands is what's gonna get to you, and you're gonna like use that to go for sympathy, vying for sympathy again. Oh, let's go, we're gonna get to 10 on that one, guaranteed. We're only halfway through. It's insane to point that to it and be like, oh, I got one comment saying that they think I'm abusive because of a character I play. Like, do you really think like the actor who played Joffrey or played Ramsay in Game of Thrones is really being like, I mean, actually, I think Joffrey actually did get like assaulted for being so unlikable, but like, do you really think their life is ruined by the people who think they actually are Joffrey, like, or actually are Ramsay? Like, no, if someone's tweeting at you being like, oh, you actually are the horrible person that's portrayed in this movie, or like thinking that like Taika Waititi is Hitler because he played Hitler in that movie, no, they don't care, because that's, you can't help when people are just that stupid. You have to ignore it.
So that's something I wanted to admit on this podcast, and I know it's going to have a hell of a backlash, but I'm going to admit it. I have been recently diagnosed as autistic, and for the longest time, I thought it was like post-traumatic stress disorder that would cause me to act the way that I would act when I would have an autistic meltdown. But I think now, more than me and my therapist agree, that most of the moments I've had that have been anything that could be remotely close to abusive would be having an autistic meltdown. And what those look like.
Okay, I don't want to invalidate Boogie's experience. I don't. But I don't believe him here. Honestly, I don't. And I am not like smarter than therapists or whatever, but it just doesn't line up with his personality at all. Out of all the content that we've seen on him, it's just not like he just isn't. He has normal interactions with people. He understands interpersonal cues. He understands everything to such an extent that even if he technically qualifies, I don't think it gives him a pass. I don't. Maybe I'll get some heat from that, but I probably won't, because like Boogie, and he's saying this is going to cause him backlash, nobody cares about what he has to say. Nobody cares what I have to say. So
to think that I have a pattern of emotional abuse or some sort of like nefarious pattern of physical abuse or something like that, one of the reasons that has bothered me so much is because I managed to end the cycle of abuse. My parents beat on us kids like it was a fucking career. Emotional abuse was just what they called interacting with their children. And
yeah, and let's just talk about like the meta of the entire interview. Is what Boogie's been trying to do is steer it into a way where he thinks he actually has like some type of, like, he's probably rehearsed this part or thought about it a lot of how he can defend himself from these allegations, and he is steering the interview. Like, I would say this is probably what Tom did the worst steer, is he didn't really steer the interview into places that Boogie didn't want to go. He does a little bit, or he confronts him about the things that Boogie brings up, and Boogie kind of like backs himself into a corner on a lot of these things. But you can tell that Boogie's like, he's trying to get to a place where there is a lot of sympathy for people who have been falsely accused of stuff now, because there's been a problem with false accusations, or at least there's a perceived problem of false accusations for the past like 5 years. So now Boogie's trying to like get himself on their side. The problem is he's made himself such an enemy of that side. Even in this, I'm not gonna lie, the people who would sympathize with you for that all already turned against you when you were saying that, oh, we'd curb stomp the shit out of someone who said the F slur. The people who were saying the F slur to the gay kid would be the people that are defending you.
So the fact that I've never done that to another,
maybe we can justify the appeal to stupidity. Maybe he is stupid. Maybe he just is stupid. The hard part is you can't tell if he's faking stupidity or if he just is stupid. It's impossible to tell.
Well, to talk about the Anita Sarkeesian thing a little bit, I'm not sure what you included in that, but like Gamergate was happening, and this is where I got labeled as a centrist, because I believed during Gamergate that you could both fix gaming journalism without harassing women, right? I didn't think it had to be one or the other. We weren't going to fix gaming journalism by harassing women. That wasn't going to achieve anything, right? So I felt like we could fix gaming journalism and leave women in gaming alone. And that got me labeled as a centrist. Like, you have to pick a side. Either we hate women in gaming or, you're a sellout piece of shit. And I disagreed wholeheartedly. But that said, I feel like I also miscommunicated that. So a lot of people felt like I was taking the feminist side of things, which wasn't necessarily the truth. But then feminists were mad that I didn't take their side. And so then I got put on a panel with Anita Sarkeesian, and I already had a
Okay, so the problem with this is that you're so worried about what side you're put on, what side you want to be on. You don't want to anger either of them, is what you just admitted. So you are trying to play the centrist, which is fine, but then you're taking offense to the centrist. What you really should just do is just tell your honest opinion. What do you actually think? Just say that and stick to it. Don't care about what people label you. Say your actual opinion about it. All you have to do, it's simple. If you tell the truth and you're honest, then it's so easy. But he can't do that. He's a pathological liar. He just wants attention. He wants to be liked. You know, it's one of his biggest problems.
Well, so let's talk. If I did the same thing for a trans person, I was assaulting a trans person with my words in the attempt to incite a riot, incite a fight, disturb the peace. Yeah, I probably should be arrested and taken in. And I do believe that is hate speech. I do believe choosing to purposely misgender and verbally assault a
All right, I'm not going to say anything about this actual topic, but it is important. This is a false conflation. What he's doing is he's comparing saying something, misgendering, to incitement of a riot, which is a crime, which is something serious. I would say misgendering a trans person is something serious too. I'm not trying to offend anyone, but it is like, it's just important to point out that he is conflating these two things of incitement to riot, a felony, with misgendering of a person. Even though both of these things might be bad, might be wrong to do, might be morally wrong, that doesn't mean that they are the same or that they are equivalent. Okay, you know what? We gotta explain it a little bit more. Okay, incitement to riot is wrong because it's a call to violence. Misgendering someone is wrong because it hurts someone's feelings or it makes them feel offended or attacked their identity. But it's not a call to violence against them. And that's the big difference between incitement to riot and misgendering. That's what causes a false conflation when he compares these two. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, probably not jail time unless you're like a repeat offender, but certainly I think you should be arrested and put in a tank to like give you a cool off period.
What if you do it on YouTube?
Well, like there's definitely going to be ramifications for that. Probably not jail time, but certainly YouTube, that's against YouTube policy.
But what do you think should happen?
I don't know. I'm not really judge and jury. If I were to do something like that, I would like to be held accountable. And I would like to think that accountability would involve certainly no sponsors on my video.
Oh my God, this is actually insane. I don't even know what to label this as, because he's pretending like he wants to be held accountable for the things that he does wrong, while simultaneously refusing to accept responsibility, playing to people's pity, appealing to the greater good, appealing to incompetence, appealing to stupidity, feigning ignorance, hedging his bets, false conflating, appealing to his success, self-pity, attacking the moderator, and appealing to the moderator. Like, and that's not even all. That's just all I've written down. It's insane. It's actually insane. Like, how can you be this transparent about how terrible of a person you are?
You make more than this in a month. If I looked at your statistics, I bet you do. But I had saved and saved and saved and saved. And after my divorce, I looked at my bank account and I saw my YouTube numbers dwindling, and I saw the paycheck dwindling every month. And I had about $175,000 to my name. And
you think I make more than that in a month?
Don't you get like 10, 20 million views a month?
I get like 10 million on my main channel. I don't make $175,000 a month. I wish.
So 70, 80,000 if I had to guess then?
Yeah, around there.
Based on those numbers? Right. So in 2 or 3.
Damn, he's balling, bro. He's balling. 80K times 12. 960K a year, big boy Tom. You're rolling in it.
Well, yo, and on top of that, you know what sucks so bad about it? I had myself convinced that wasn't enough money. Like, I would cut my left nut off right now and eat it to have $500,000 right now. There's nothing I wouldn't do to get $500,000 right now. But at the time when I was
people around you, like friends that would.
Can we please start a GoFundMe to have him do that? Like, we all know he'll waste it, but it would be really funny. I don't want to watch it. I don't even want to think about it, but it would be really funny. Oh my god, this video is getting demonetized.
But did you see my fight? Did you watch this fight I did? It was an embarrassment, obviously.
I did watch it, yes, I did.
Yeah, it was a huge embarrassment on my part. I mean, a lot of people are proud that I just got into the ring, and I'm kind of...
This was the greatest fight of all time, by the way. Play the clip.
Oh my god. Oh my goodness! Right off the bat, Wings is... Wings connected with the... Immediate pressure by Wings.
And Boogie taking a step back.
Oh my gosh! He is putting a clinic.
These boys have some heavy hands. Oh
my gosh! Here we go.
Wings just patiently waiting. Oh
my gosh!
Boogie is in trouble.
And they're going for it. And they're going for it.
Boogie's got to not turn around to the rest of the
Boogie's got to get one out. End.
Boogie's got to face him. There we go. He's just walking into the punches there. At least he's throwing a couple.
Him to try and hurt his reputation. You backed that person up instead of your friend.
Well, the reason I backed up that person is because it was my friend Emily, and she asked me to help, and I chose to help because she's a friend. And me and Jesse had not talked at years at that point. We had a falling out. He threw me out of his house for just the weirdest reason. He threw me out of his house because someone else was filming girls that I didn't bring. That's just so weird that I got thrown out because
I don't know the whole situation. I don't know what the whole situation is there. I know there was like some hookers involved or something. But what I'm saying,
yeah.
What I'm saying is that you understand why he was like kind of mad.
Yeah, but I still think it was kind of unusual to sponsor my opponent there or whatever.
Is it unusual?
Yeah, it seems really unusual. I wouldn't have done that. I don't think.
I mean, it's like petty. Is it unusual? I mean, it's just he was mad at you because you at a low point when someone's making allegations to try to cancel him. You know, you back that person up, and it's not like it was an allegation of like philia or sexual assault. It was an allegation that he said something mean.
Do you think it was wrong for me to tell him not to assault, not verbally assault or drag? It turns out Emily also fucked up really bad too. I didn't know that at the time. When I joined the crusade against Jesse, I didn't know that Emily had also been.
What did Emily do? I don't know the story there.
So I don't know that well either. Apparently she was making like jokes about putting estrogen in his food, and apparently there was like something where she was sitting in a room listening to him have sex one day or something, and like made a joke.
Setting. New tally. Setting. I think
the next day. So Jesse was right to be petty in that situation, and I think he was right to be petty in my situation as well. Give him full credit, right? At the same time, I think it's also okay to tell your friends, hey, don't be transphobic. Hey, don't be racist. I don't like it.
But you didn't say that to him. You said it on Twitter in public.
Yeah, it was a really stupid thing to do, I think, in retrospect. I think it is important to hold people accountable sometimes for the same things they say and do. Certainly, people like you have held me accountable, right?
The problem here is, like Tom just said, you have to... When it's your friend, you owe it to them. If they made a mistake or did something wrong, you owe it to them to tell them. And another problem here is that he came out to expose him later. That means that he didn't have a problem with it at the time. I don't know this specific situation because I don't care, whatever. But like, assuming that this is an interaction that Boogie witnessed, if Boogie did not talk to him about it at the time, then obviously Boogie was okay with it at the time and is only bringing it up later to attack him for it. With your friend, you owe it to them to at least be honest. I mean, if you didn't care about it at the time, then you shouldn't come out later and pretend like it was the worst thing ever, because you didn't care.
That said, I never had any delusions he was going to get canceled or his career was going to be over. Hell, he barely uploads as it is, and nobody watches what he uploads now. So what's he going to lose? He's a multi-million.
Ironic for Boogie to call out someone else for nobody watching their content.
And so here's what I'm going to do: a classic Boogie backpedal right now, because you've given me some new perspective and new information. And
the Boogie backpedal. Beast moment number 2, bro. What is he talking about?
You would contradict yourself.
Oh, that's what that's exactly what my lawyer told me to do, because I'm an idiot. Like my lawyer, God bless him, Pine Dryer. He knows me from back in the Magic days. We know.
He's saying that funny too. So I just want to take a second for everyone here. Yeah, moment of silence for his accent.
On the show for 25 years. He knows what an idiot I am. He's seen me at my absolute worst stupidities, right? He's seen me when I was homeless. He's seen me when I was getting on disability. He saw me when I was at my absolute most.
Who has a lawyer when they're homeless? What? Is that a thing? Like, lawyers are expensive, no? My mom's a lawyer, bro. It's like $300 an hour. Why do you have a lawyer when you're expensive? When you're homeless? That's crazy.
Do the podcast. Don't interview him. I did it anyway. I do what I do.
Do you not think you have more free will than that? I mean, you said your brain tells you what to do, but don't you tell your brain and your body what to do? Like, you have some.
I'm learning.
choice.
I'm learning. I think, based on what I've learned in the last year in therapy, and I know everybody's going to say, "Oh, poor victim Boogie," but the truth of the matter is, when you live the first 18 years of your life in a war zone, it affects the person you're always going to be. When you wake up with a knife in you, when you wake up, when you get molested, when you get the shit beat out of you, when the parents who are supposed to take care of you and protect you instead of.
This is true. Like, this will have a lasting effect on you, but that isn't an excuse for everything in your life. You have to take some level of personal accountability at some point. You gotta watch David Goggins. Watch David Goggins. You just gotta listen to. Just take some personal accountability. Like, just do something to better your life. Don't just drown in self-pity for your entire life, pretending like it's impossible because something bad happened to me when I was a kid. You gotta try to move past that.
I think people would like to see me create better content, and I would like that too, but my focus is almost always on just functioning as a human being and learning how to do that. I still don't know how to do that, and it's embarrassing. And
it's actually crazy that that's what your focus is on. Like that's the bare minimum. You don't have any focus. That's what everyone does. Everyone just does that. And I know he's trying to imply like that's what I need to focus on, or else I'm gonna kill myself or whatever. Unironically, I think that's wrong. No, like I'm no expert, but I'm pretty sure if you're depressed and all you think about at all times is your depression, or if you are like whatever, if you are anxious and all you think about is your anxiety, that's not gonna help. You gotta focus on other things. Like, maybe if you actually focus on making better videos or getting in shape, or put your focus on something other than, oh, I'm gonna cry again, oh no, I'm gonna cry, I need to cry for the first 3 hours when I wake up. If maybe you focused on actually making good videos for those 3 hours, or you just got over yourself, you might actually be in a better spot and you might not feel like this anymore. You might have improved your life. Even, you know what, even if you still felt like this, at least you'd probably be successful. You'd probably not be broke if you just focused on other things besides, oh my god, I need to feel happy. It's better to be depressed and wealthy than it is to be depressed and broke.
Yeah. Well, I mean, I'll be honest with you, and I've always known this. I think one of the reasons so many people are so angry about the person that I turned out to be is because they were very invested in seeing me be more successful than I've had in all of these areas. They wanted me to lose more weight. They wanted me to be a better YouTuber. They wanted me to be a better person. And I think you are one of those people. I think you would gladly like to see that, even if it meant you'd make.
It's so weird for him to go back to appealing to like Tom and trying to make him like. It's so weird. You basically attacked Tom's character and have been like going at him for so long. It's so weird to do this flip-flop of like, oh, I'm on your side and you're right. Oh no, but you're a terrible person. But you're right, but you're a terrible person. But like everything that you do is wrong. But you're right, even though everything you think is wrong. But you're right about it. It's like it's such a weird like back and forth that somehow is just going on in Boogie's mind. I don't understand. I really don't.
Tell me what you think about this, person to person. I got $5,000 payday coming. I got a $10,000 payday coming. And even though I had to spend about $11,000 out of savings, I could put that money back into savings, but let's be real. I got to put $3,000 aside from taxes. I had to borrow some money not too long ago from somebody. So I'm going to give that money back to them. And then on top of that, by the time it's all said and done, this payday for this fight's about $5 grand. And I could just put that in the savings, or I could pay a couple of months for the mortgage. I think I want to go back to trying to create some really interesting content. And the interesting content that I want to do involves me getting back out of the world and doing some weight loss. Is that something?
I don't know what Tom's gonna say, but I don't think you should. Like, if you're gonna spend like 5K on video production, it should be something like spending that much money to like make a couple videos is pretty intense. Like most people, except for like really big content creators, like they are not spending money on making videos. What I'd say is you should probably do is maybe, I don't know, maybe use that money to pay a thumbnail artist or pay an editor, or maybe he should sell half of his channel to an editor, someone else that can help him.
Do you think you would personally like to see? Do you think that's something you think an audience would like to see?
I think you could have done that a few years ago, but I think now people are not invested in that for you. No, I wouldn't do that. I would put the money in savings, and then I would just try to make the best content you can with what you have. I mean, you have, you know, a good radio voice, you have a good personality for stuff like that. You know, you like interviewing people, you like video games. I guess I would make content about that. I would stop talking about drama. I would start talking about video games and stuff like that. People used to watch me for that all the time. Just do that.
You know why I stopped talking?
I think that's wrong. I think Boogie could talk about drama. It just can't be his own drama. Like, I'm not gonna lie, it's free talking about drama. That's what I'm doing right now, basically. Talking about drama is free views. What Tom's entire channel is, like what Moist Critical does, what, you know, tons of people do this. It's not particularly hard. He already has a recognizable name. And if you just had good thumbnails and then just did the Moist Critical or Lud or Mogul Mail way of doing it, where you just have, it's just a recording of you and you just talk about what you think, and you know, as long as he just sticks to that and just does that, I think you could get up to averaging like 100K views, but he won't because he's a dumbass.
Yeah, I think that's one of the worst things that I deal with, is that I'm a ridiculously sensitive person. I think it's partially like the abuse survival. I think if I came into this world.
All right, you know what? Boogie based moment number 3. Okay, he's admitting that he's incredibly sensitive, which is true. He is. I mean, he's then going to go on to make a bunch of excuses for it, so we'll also add one to hedging. But at least he can admit this. Like, he is self-aware, and it's so weird when you encounter people like this that are self-aware but refuse to change their actions. They refuse to do anything about it. I think it's also because he's spiteful. I'm sure you guys remember when he did the interview with, I think his name is Caleb Hammer. Okay, it's listening to me. It's listening to me. What? How did it know? That's so crazy. But right after this is only a month ago, then Boogie goes on and that's pretty funny quote. but then after that, Boogie trashes him. Boogie trashes him after he does this interview where Caleb's trying to help him, trying to like do all these things. It's he was two-faced and spiteful.
Into the perfect scenario, I think I would probably be just a soft little. If I'm being honest with you, like my testosterone levels have always been so low, and my estrogen levels have always been so high. It's a miracle that I functioned as a person. I am. I went back on it again. That's what gave me.
Appealing to being a little soy beta cuck. Did not think we were gonna get there. Did not think we were gonna get there.
Well, I don't want to keep you too much longer, but I got to say, is there any other things, any of these other more contentious things? I think we covered the stuff that I mostly wanted to talk about. I mostly wanted to talk about the abuse allegations, because those aren't true, and that one bothers me. I did definitely want to talk about the swatting thing, because I made my mistake there, and I'm glad to cop to it. I did definitely want to talk about the abuse allegations and why they hurt me so very much. I think I definitely give you a better.
Bro, Boogie's a liar. He didn't want to talk about any of this. This is just the stuff that he got dragged up. He didn't want to talk about it. It's all I gotta say. You can easily tell.
Fortnite.
I've literally never played that. I saw the you don't actually play Fortnite, do you?
I do. I play Fortnite almost every day.
That's so complicated to me. My brain can't keep up with that. Did you play Tears of the Kingdom?
Okay, I don't care what else Boogie has to say. He's just gonna try to be nice, try to like leave a good lasting impression, and then as soon as he gets off, he's gonna go talk shit about him to someone else. Who cares? This is what we need to look at. Okay, this is the true Boogie. All right, he's got a couple of based moments. Tom annihilated Boogie. He says set instead of sit, which I honestly think is just by the death penalty. I think Boogie, when it comes down to it, is just a sensitive little soy beta cuck, as he was appealing to at the end there. I don't know. how he does this, but he can't admit his own faults. He can't accept any responsibility for his mistakes, and he doesn't want to improve. What he wants to do is just sit there in self-pity, do the exact same thing over and over and over again, and hope that eventually he is going to become relevant again by doing the same thing. He's hoping that people just discover him again. All right, and this is a problem with Boogie. Okay, he's been on YouTube for so long. Okay, and let's pretend that this is we'll do a graph here. Let's pretend that this blue is the amount of people that have ever seen Boogie, who are aware of Boogie. Okay, it's just gonna keep going like this. Actually, no, it's probably more of a first few years going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, going up, and then after there, slowly started to tick up, slowly ticking up. Okay, and now this is the amount of people that watched Boogie. So as it came up with this. And then in the beginning, it would be viral video and then down, and then viral video and then down, and then viral video, never coming back to where he was because people were getting bored of the Francis character. Viral video and down, viral video and down. And then eventually it plateaus. Plateaus almost always slowly trickle down after your initial success, then back up with some media, back up, down, up, down with each of his scandals. And now it's just trickling down, and then popping back up, trickling down. And the problem with this is when you don't change your content, this amount of people that watched you, that know about you, whatever, we'll go like that. This can't change this, because all of these people that aren't watching you, the differentiation between the distance between that line and that line, it's so big because these are all people that know about you and are deciding not to watch you. They're deciding not to watch you. This isn't people not being suggested your content. This is people knowing about you and deciding not to watch you. Things like this is, I would say, is the documentary that happened on him, and like the Caleb Hammer, and like him being featured in like popular medias, or even the Tom video, the Turkey Tom video, not the Tom Dark video, because that's kind of negligible. But these bumps will get you back up here, or your initial viral videos get you to here. And this is probably at your most culturally relevant right here. Like the first Francis video or something, where it went mega viral and tons of people heard about you. Tons of people saw you and tons of people were watching you. But the problem with viral videos is that it does not transfer to consistent video viewers. It doesn't, unless your next video is just as good. But the problem is, between Boogie's next viral video was a distance. He was just a viral video maker, but not someone who had a consistent viral video. Then the closest was when he made the switch to commentary and making popular. That was people who would actually go to him and respect his opinion on things. But then people lost faith in his opinion and he started going down. And on the down spiral, he hit a down spiral and he couldn't climb out of it because he refused to change. People no longer cared about the viral videos because they'd seen them for 10 years. People no longer cared about the commentary that he was doing because they couldn't respect his opinion anymore. What he kept posting didn't matter. It just kept going down, And then he got this massive blip. It was probably even bigger than that. The graph probably isn't even accurate to show it well enough. Massive blip. The boxing, the documentary, the Caleb Hammer interview, the Tom interview, or the Tom video. The problem with it is, this is a lot of exposure, but it wasn't a lot of views for you. It's a lot of eyes on you though. So with that ton of eyes on you, yeah, actually I would say this graph is accurate. What do you do to capitalize on that? He did nothing. He just kept making the same content. So he got this massive bump in exposure. When people looked, they saw, oh, he's still making the same content. He's no longer making the Francis videos because they don't do well anymore. He is occasionally, but like not really. He's no longer, I don't care about what he says for commentary. And the rest of this is just super boring static stuff that I don't care about anymore. So none of it converted. And you know, maybe this is unfair. Maybe he really went to like here and back down. That's probably more accurate. Some people were converted, but not a substantive amount, like not what it could have been. And now that more people know his name than ever, because people don't forget. Like people might not remember him on like a cursory, like if you ask them about him, but if they see him, they'll remember that they've seen him before. So people don't forget. People can't relearn who you are, but they can decide to stop watching. That's what happens with every YouTuber. And that is the story of Boogie2988. Peace, boys.